Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rule well, peace, and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainam. The title of this video is The FIFA World Cup is a non-event. All right. The FIFA World Cup is a non-event. This is Isaiah 19, and I'm gonna get it from verse 11, right in the NLT. Says Isaiah 19:11, what fools are the officials of Zone? Friends, talking about ancient Egypt. But we translate this to, of course, America, right, in this time now, because Donald Trump is the new Pharaoh, right, as Iran will tell you in their AI videos. All right. And Isaiah 19 goes into the cruel Lord ruling and all of that. All right. So just jumping down here to verse 11 says, what fools are the officials of Zone? Right, the counselors, right? Their best counsel to the king of Egypt is stupid and wrong. Will they will they still boast to Pharaoh of their wisdom? Will they dare brag about all their wise ancestors? Because you had things like Doge, coming into the White House, and these are technocracy guys and whatnot, cutting, different places they were spending money. That's what they did. And a lot of the things that they did is backfiring on them now. Even with the Ebola outbreak, Trump cut funding over there in Africa, like to help that, keep the outbreak under control. But he had cut it way back. Now it's just spreading rapidly. And, different other things that he did regarding this FIFA, he was charging people like, 10,000 just to come, but they cut that out. He also, put the ICE agents on the street, and people, stopped coming to America, and now they're wondering, why people are not showing up. So a lot of things that they have done and are still doing is causing people to flee from America, right? Your different decisions. Even with the Venezuela thing, they went in there and they did that because they thought it was a good decision, and they captured the guy, but we don't know too much about what's happening over there now. But they tried to do the same thing in Iran, and it's backfired on them. You know. So verse 12 says, "Where are your wise counselors, Pharaoh? Let them tell you what God plans, right? What the Lord Yahweh Bashmel Shah of Heaven's army is going to do to Egypt. The officials of Zone are fools, and the officials of Memphis are deluded." Again, so this is going back to ancient Egypt, right? Regarding America, right? Egypt means bondage, all right? Now that's America, all right? It says the leaders of the people have led Egypt astray. The Lord Yahweh Bashim have sent his spirit of foolishness on them, right? So all their suggestions are wrong. So everything that they do, is not working, and it's backfiring on them. They have caused Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit. There is nothing Egypt can do. All are helpless. The head and tail, the noble palm branch, and the lowly reed. So everybody's through. People are leaving this place. Not trying to come here. Right? It says, in that day the Egyptians will be as weak as women. They will cower in fear beneath the upraised fist of the Lord Yahweh Bashmel Shah heaven's armies, because the Most High is bringing this place down, and it's clear as day. And that's why you're having this situation with these people, right, where people are not showing up. The Most High Yahweh Bashmel Shah has confounded the counsel of these devils, as it says up here, right? In verse 3, it says, the Egyptians will lose heart, and I will confuse their plans, right? They will plead with their idols for wisdom and call on spirits, mediums, and those who consult the spirits of the dead, right? So that's what these devils are doing behind the scene, because the Most High Yahweh Bashim Shah is confounding their counsel, and this people thing is just evidence that this place is going down, decaying.
Anything, but the numbers are telling a different story.
Ich bin ein großer Bewunderer Amerikas. Meine Bewunderung nimmt
Or you have to read this right here. I'll read it.
To soften anything, but the numbers are telling a different story.
Ich bin ein großer Bewunderer Amerikas. Meine Bewunderung nimmt im Augenblick nicht zu. Aber nur ich würde meinen Kindern heute nicht empfehlen, in die USA zu gehen, dort ausgebildet zu werden und dort zu arbeiten. Einfach weil sich dort plötzlich ein gesellschaftliches Klima entwickelt hat. Und übrigens die Frage, was gut ausgebildete junge Menschen erreichen können, die ist bis vor Jahr und Tag in Amerika noch ganz anders war.
Says simply because a certain social climate has suddenly developed there.
Und übrigens die Frage,
and by the way, the question of what well-educated young people can achieve,
was gut ausgebildete junge Menschen erreichen können, die ist
was answered quite differently in America until a year ago than today.
Bis vor Jahr und Tag in Amerika noch ganz anders beantwortet worden als heute. Heute haben die
Today, the best educated people in America have great difficulties finding a job.
Ausgebildeten in Amerika große Schwierigkeiten, einen Job zu finden.
Axios reported that the US hospitality industry is worried that travel barriers may limit the World Cup's economic benefits. The American Hotel and Lodging Association found that 65% to 70% of hotel owners in host cities believe that visa policies and geopolitical tensions are significantly damping international demand. Forbes reported that US hotels are calling the World Cup a, quote, non-event so far. The same Hotel and Lodging Association warned that nearly 80% of hotels across host cities say that bookings are tracking well below the original forecasts. And then if you look at the New York Post, they reported a similar picture. Yes, the Rupert Murdoch-owned New York Post. They're the ones saying that foreign soccer fans are skipping the US, threatening what was supposed to be a $30 billion economic boost. According to them, 80% of hotel operators in 9 of the 11 US host cities say that reservations are lagging, with some cities seeing cancellations as high as 95% after FIFA released about 70% of its reserved hotel room blocks. Because listen, hotels do not panic before the World Cup because everything is going beautifully, right?
I think that some of the relationships that they've had with traditional allies has been strained because of the way that the Trump administration has different priorities for the past. And I think this is a really good olive branch to make sure that this event is a success. But it's a really interesting kind of combination of how politics and sport have combined. We're also going to see that when the US hosts the Olympics in 2028 because of the way that they've handled or they've cracked down on sort of transgender athletes. So I think this is a really interesting sort of confluence of events.
I am very concerned that because of statements made by the president, actions taken by the Trump administration, that we're going to be discouraging soccer fans from coming to games here and that our communities will lose the economic benefits of that game or that they will be diminished. The report that was released in March of 2025 projected that international tourism in the United States would increase 6.5% in 2025 and another 10% in 2026. And that did not happen in 2025, did it?
Correct.
Okay. In fact, I have a chart here that we asked the Congressional Research Service to put together based on the Department of Commerce numbers. In other words, we took your numbers and this is the chart. You all projected 6% increase. You can see a steady decline. I mean, not even close to 6%, negative.
But the visa bond problem is only one part of the perception crisis that Donald Trump has created. More than 120 civil society groups, including the ACLU, issued a travel advisory warning visitors about the human rights situation in the United States ahead of the World Cup. The advisory cited risks including ICE abuses, suppression of speech, and dangers facing people in host cities. Amnesty USA put it even more directly, warning that fans, players, journalists, and even other visitors could face serious rights violations as the Trump administration doubles down on what the groups have called a draconian immigration and anti-human rights agenda. Yeah, they're not exactly softening their words either, all of which contributes to the reasons that fans are hesitating. It's not a mystery by any means. Donald Trump's policies have helped create the conditions that are now scaring off the visitors needed to make the event a success that he has touted it will be. Hardline visa rules, immigration crackdowns, human rights warnings, and geopolitical tension have all contributed to this.
What are the specific actions you would want FIFA or host cities to take to protect the safety of immigrant communities and traveling fans? These are real risks, and they are real risks.
So now they're trying to figure out, what they can do to, protect the citizens and what, I guess what laws they can put in place to limit what ICE can do to people that's just showing up here. All right. Let me grab this Isaiah 24. See where I read it at. This is Isaiah 24 and 4. It says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languishes and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. All right, let's get this word language. Or male, to be weak, right? To droop, to languish, to be exhausted. To be or grow feeble. That's the perverse spirit mingle in the midst, right, of this place, Babylon the Great, as it said in Isaiah 19. All right. Isaiah 24:4, the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languishes and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, right? Broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Right, and ultimately, that's exactly what's going to happen when we get to the nuclear missiles. All right, it says the new wine mourneth, the vine languishes, all the merry-hearted do sigh. You know, that's why these events here in America is not popping off like that. Now we have the July, what I believe is July 4th or whatnot, the 250 year, you know, celebration of America, you know, and no one is going to really be celebrating, you know, because no one has money to do anything. It says in verse 8, the mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice in it, the joy of the harp ceaseth. Right? They shall not drink wine with a song, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. This is exactly what's happening. All right. The city of confusion is broken down, every house is shut up, that no man may come in. So you say NLT or another verse, because I'm thinking about second Edges where it says, you know, because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. All right. Yeah, 15. Really just, you know, the first part of this verse right here, but it's the second Edge chapter 15, verse 18. It says, for because, matter of fact, I get it from 17. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So people are afraid to come to America because you got the ICE gang, you know, going about picking people up. Right? And that's the pride of these devils, you know, trying to save themselves and, you know, putting all these different laws into place. So let me see what the same NLT it says. This is Isaiah 24:10. It said the city withers in chaos. All right. Rich and chaos. Every home is locked to keep out intruders. Yeah, you know, and people are that way too. You know, with the ICE agents. ANP says the city of chaos is broken down. Every house is shut up so that no man may enter. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. That's what they're crying for now. They're crying for things to get back better, right? For the grocery prices to go down, the gas prices to go down, for some help. You know, they want the mirth back, the joy back, but it all darkened. It says, and the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. All right, so just bad times, basically. Get this video here.
2026 FIFA World Cup kicks off in 16 days. It is the biggest sporting event on the planet, the first to feature 48 teams spread across 3 countries, with 78 of the 104 matches hosted in the US. And if you've been following this channel, you already know it's not really going that well. But what has happened since our last video on the World Cup has made the situation considerably worse, and in some cases, genuinely surreal. I'm El, and I use data analysis to spot patterns in geopolitics and economics, and the pattern here is one of compounding dysfunction, where each new development makes the previous one look minor by comparison. Start with the one that reads like satire, but it's actually not. FIFA created a new award called the FIFA Peace Prize. Its inaugural recipient is Donald Trump. The organization that governs world football gave a peace prize to the president of a country that is currently waging a war in the Middle East that has killed tens of thousands of people, sent oil prices up 80%, and disrupted 20% of the world's energy supply through the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. White House spokesman Davis Engel responded by saying the World Cup will be one of the greatest and most spectacular events in the history of mankind. NPR reported that the Peace Prize was the final straw for multiple fans who had been planning to attend and subsequently canceled their trips. Then there is the scheduling part. FIFA's tournament draw placed Egypt versus Iran at Lumen Field in Seattle on June 26th, the same day that Seattle's local organizing committee had pre-designated as the tournament's official Pride match to celebrate the LGBTQ community during Pride weekend. Both Egypt and Iran criminalize homosexuality. In Iran, same-sex relations can carry the death penalty. Egypt uses debauchery laws to target and prosecute LGBTQ individuals. Both football associations filed formal complaints with FIFA demanding the Pride rebranding be removed. Iran's Football Federation president Mehdi Taj called it unreasonable and illogical. Egypt's federation said it categorically rejects any activities promoting LGBTQ during the match. Seattle's organizing committee said it was going ahead as planned. FIFA scheduled a pride match between the only two countries in the group where being gay is illegal. Nobody in the room caught it before the draw was announced to the world. If you've been following this channel's playlist on how the US is systematically undermining its own international events, this is just another update. Same tournament, worse every single week. The hotel situation we covered in the previous video has not improved. 80% of hotels across the US host cities reported bookings as a non-event. New York hotel occupancy was tracking below the same period last year, meaning the World Cup was making the city less busy than it would have been without it. Since that video, NPR reported that FIFA itself canceled a large number of hotel room blocks it had reserved across host cities, further destabilizing the accommodation market. Hotels that had raised prices by 300% in anticipation of demand that never materialized have been forced to slash rates below what they would normally charge in a regular summer.
So I just wanted to show this. There's a lot going on, right? And these are indicators, again, that things are not going well. Things are not good. Right? This is Matthew chapter 16, verse 1. It says, the Pharisees also, the Sadducees, came and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. He answered and said to them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs, right, of the times? A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the son of the prophet Jonas, and he left them and departed. So the prophets are here pointing these things out, saying, look, is the king. America is circling the drain. Our Lord Yahweh Shai is almost, ready to come back for us. Let's turn back to the Lord and repent. Rehearse the righteous acts because the time is short. So again, like I said, I just want to go over that. This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 30. It says, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoice at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad at thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. Right? And again, that's what's happening. America is decaying, and it's evident. Lord willing, you are edified from this lesson. Shalom to the hope for elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.